This is an unapologetically Cold War game set in the 80s.
I love that,
it's
dude.
Still a Black Ops game. And for over a decade, we built our multiplayer experiences atop a core set of guiding principles. They form our pillars. Deniable operations that deploy around the world. Signature combat tailored to how you play.
Tight combat
Connected
loop.
experiences that deliver free, robust, ongoing content and integrate deeply into the next evolution of Warzone. Today, we're going to explore each of these facets of multiplayer. We're going to show you how this globe-trotting, cinematically connected experience is our most immersive yet. And then, we're going to show it to you in a way we never could before, with a little help from some friends.
Nice.
First up, the bedrock of Black Ops, deniable operations. These are the places in multiplayer you never saw, and the things you never did. The missions that stay off the books, and the targets and sources who stay off the record. The Cold War we set out to build is realistic. It's plausible. Most importantly, it's inspired by a gritty historical tone that we've woven into every element of our game's world and story and gameplay. Chaotic and always confidential, the deniable ops lie at the heart of multiplayer, raising the bar while creating a clear and unique narrative that influences every bit of our world building.
We're gonna have some crazy locations and maps.
For Black Ops Cold War, that world building drove each multiplayer level in two ways. With the signature level design you've come to expect, and by pushing the visual bar and immersing players into a narrative of unfolding events. The fight to recover a downed satellite in the Central African desert, battles that unfold on the neon-soaked streets of Miami's famed South Beach. Deniable ops are the Black Ops stories inspired by history, but forgotten by the history books. We've selected 5 maps to give you a small taste of the range of deniable ops awaiting in multiplayer. Later today, you'll see them playing. But here's a few of my teammates to share what they loved most from how they were made.
Starting off with some multiplayer maps.
I'm a level designer.
I'm Kendall Snow, associate level designer.
I'm Brittany Perello, producer.
I'm Matt Kutris, senior level designer.
In Satellite, a top secret American recon satellite
has lost power and crashed in the deserts of Angola. With hired DJI forces closing in,
now it's a race to secure the crash site.
What I love about Satellite is the fact that it's just this amazing natural space.
Because larger maps have more components, we can apply more details into maps like Satellite, which make them feel even more natural. The satellite at the center is like a king of the hill. Anyone who wants it has to run toward you because it's raised higher than the rest of the map.
I'm getting some Afghan vibes here. Modern Warfare 2. Anybody remember that?
Usually playing one of two ways. All in, full ham, dying again and again.
Centerpiece.
Or in objective modes, I'll flank and get the jump on people. Satellite scratches both of those itches. Even though it's an outdoor space, the map's 2 different regions mean I can play long and short range tactics.
I'll be honest, I am trash with the sniper rifle, but a shotgun, that I can do. I have always been a big fan of close quarters combat, and there is great cat and mouse style gameplay in Satellite.
The Crash Satellite is a super fun spot to try and outplay your enemies. Predict which way they'll circle the debris to run up behind them, or just duck inside the satellite and take your shot.
This is going to be one of those classic Black Ops maps the world knows and loves for how quickly engagements fire up. East and West collide on the open seas in a top-secret mission.
Inspired by a real-life event, Project Azorian, CIA, JSOC, and Soviet forces converged to recover a sunken prototype nuclear Soviet submarine from the ocean floor.
The calm waters of Armada explode into massive naval conflict as players battle for control of large naval vessels.
With no lanes walling you in, players can engage on ships' decks, in the water, and on vehicles like wake runners and gunboats.
No, dude, this is so sick.
Chaos in the best way.
This really cool map that gives this amazing sense of exploration. There are so many little individual areas to find and new ways to surround or flank your enemies and get the upper hand.
This is unlike any other COD multiplayer map we've ever seen before. Jet skis going from boat to boat? Like what?
Right in the heart of the USSR, in the shadow of Moscow's opulent train station. With Spetsnaz dispatched, the area has gone hot.
So the Moscow map is set in the dead heart of a big city. So you're wandering through these streets with a bunch of cars, and there's tall buildings on either side of you.
There's this sense that you've been dropped into a point in history.
First thing I do is run right to the center, because that's where all lanes cross in the Moscow map. And eventually, it doesn't take long, people are gonna run through the metro station. So you can just sit there and wait, but chances are there's gonna be people running right into your line of fire right off the bat.
So this guy's a camper.
It's a classic 3-lane map where teamwork really makes the dream work.
Just kidding. He's a tactical aware waiter.
January 17th, 1980.
Miami, baby.
This location is heavily influenced by Miami's famous, or perhaps infamous, Ocean Drive. This is a night map, but one unlike players have seen before.
You can sneak through dark, shadowy alleys, go out onto the beach, out into the ocean.
You can dive in the water and wade along the coast to get the drop on the other side.
Or you can just go right down the street and bask in the neon light.
First time
Definitely a lot of variety going on here. I like that.
Club music playing through the walls of one of the buildings.
Hey, that's an ode to Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 2.
Joy to experience.
Basically, my goal is to never be on the main street in the center, because that is sniper heaven, and that is Brittany hell. So I always go and try to flank and get those snipers from the back.
That's cool though, so you could swim through the ocean to be able to
Our
flank.
design teams worked really
Kind of
hard to
interesting.
bring the best possible night experience to the players. You'll see that play out when you sneak in the shadows on the beach, or engage enemies in the center strip.
It really makes people feel like they're in Miami in the 80s. It's pretty cool.
In Crossroads,
Uzbekistan.
NATO has learned a large Soviet missile convoy is on its way to the border.
Special forces dispatch alongside MI6 to ambush the convoy and secure the weapons before all hell breaks loose.
So it looks like a lot of these maps have
It's
vehicles
one
in
of our most
multiplayer.
cinematic maps with a boots on the ground feel that feels pulled from the campaign.
Your team will want to hold down and protect its own outpost to guarantee access to one of these tanks. But infantry combat doesn't take a backseat in Crossroads, as natural terrain and foliage masks movements and provides tactical advantages.
There's a bunch of snowmobiles when you first spawn, and it's a mad dash to grab one. And now, running people over with the snowmobile is my favorite thing to do.
Each environment changes the dynamic of how you play and caters to unique loadouts. Crossroads is a bigger map, and that allows you to play the way you want to play.
RCXD versus a tank, I love that. We saw that in the
beaches of
trailer.
Miami, a frozen over lake, the open ocean. Our visual research department racked up miles visiting them all, because if you're going to deploy around the globe in this game, that required them to do the same. The mission for our artist is absolute authenticity. Step one in that process is photo scanning thousands of real-world objects, terrains, and materials. Those assets ensure our upgraded, physically based renderer delivers the best looking Black Ops yet. True 4K, high dynamic range with the true color and tone. Ray tracing on systems that support it. Photometric lighting courtesy of our Luminaire system. An overhauled contour terrain system.
It's a lot of
The
stuff I
result
don't
is
know what it
gritty,
means, but I'm sure it
it's
looks good.
believable. I dare say it's got ambience. Most importantly, it sets the perfect stage for multiplayer combat. On that note, here's Matt with more on the modes and missions ahead.
We've talked a little bit about where you'll play, but let's talk about what you'll play when you get there. In Black Ops Cold War, our classic game modes are returning and they're better than ever. From the tried and true Team Deathmatch, Domination, and Search and Destroy, to the return of the competitive game mode Control. We've taken a
Control's
fresh
back.
eye to all of your favorites. We're encouraging more meaningful gameplay with larger capture zones and Domination. We're updating spawn systems in Hardpoint. And now we show you where the next Hardpoint will spawn so you can regroup, rotate, and set up for the next fight. Across all of our classic modes, we're working hard to make this the most rewarding and competitive multiplayer experience yet. And while your
The
go-to
weapons look
modes are
good.
coming back better than ever, let's talk about the innovative new modes you'll be going to next. With that, let me introduce you to my teammate Marquise Gladney, who's here to tell you about the brand new multiplayer experience we call VIP Escort.
Get down, Mr. President!
VIP Escort began with a question. How can we create a game mode inspired by the kind of real-life, totally true, but completely redacted Black Ops that first inspired this franchise? The result is Extraction in its purest form, a new 6-on-6 objective-based game mode we call VIP Escort. In Black Ops, we normally task you with fighting. But VIP Escort turns that on its head with a new mechanic. If you're selected as the VIP, your #1 job, it's to live. In this team-based op, your team will try to escort you off the map or eliminate the other team trying to stop you. As VIP, you'll skip creative class, you're too important after all. Instead, you'll deploy with a kitted out pistol, a smoke grenade, a spy plane for team intel, and a whole lot of hope that your team knows what the hell it's doing. The mission? Stay alive and escape the map. To do so, you'll need to reach one of 2 possible exfil sites, which rotate over the course of the match to keep teams on their toes. There are stakes here. If you die, that ends the round. But team up and you can get your squad back on their feet quickly via last stand and revive. Each team's choices and tactics create layers of strategy and counterplay, injecting the best of Black Ops themes directly into this competition.
It's kind of like a new age search.
Cold War mind games and misdirection by splitting up the squad to draw fire and create distractions for the VIP, or is a full-on assault more their style? Will they travel ahead and scout, run protection detail, or take a bullet for you Secret Service style? My personal keys to victory? I stick close and escort the VIP and defend them at all costs. If the VIP doesn't make it out alive, it won't matter if you do. This new deniable operation only scratches the surface of what it means to play Cold War multiplayer.
You know, I love the idea, but I don't think the average multiplayer player is gonna volunteer themselves as tribute to save you. I don't think it's gonna work like that.
6v6 experience you've come to expect. Combined Arms is where multiplayer gets bigger and badder, bringing together the best of multiplayer's large-scale battles by combining infantry and vehicular gameplay into a single cohesive combat experience. In Combined Arms Domination, players will deploy into 12 versus 12 battles, each customized and unique to its own environment.
So it's like a ground war.
But these battles aren't just bigger or more chaotic. We've worked hard to ensure the 2 levels of boots on the ground and all-out vehicular warfare complement and enhance one another on each map. Tanks, snowmobiles, wake runners, gunboats, and more. These vehicles amplify the action, sure, but they also create jaw-dropping moments right in the middle of the fight. The way I personally play Combined Arms depends on my mood. If I'm going for the win, it's rally time, and I'm pushing to capture every objective on the map. Whether that means loading up a gunboat on Armada or popping smokes so my team can cross the frozen lake in Crossroads, I'm putting my try-hard pants on and making it happen.
Gotta love it.
And that's the thing. In Combined Arms, almost anything can happen. I'll seek out fun moments that aren't possible in other modes, like ziplining onto the enemy's ship and seeing how long I can last before getting taken out. At launch, you can expect even more Combined Arms maps and modes, each tailored and tuned to bring the most fun, frenetic action this format can deliver.
Sounds pretty good. So it's like a ground war with
Armada,
vehicles.
Our most unique map to date. You saw earlier that the only life preservers on this sea-based map are your tactics, as each capture zone requires a different approach. Will you attack surgically with a 2-seater wake runner, gather your squad and storm the main ship? From ziplines that traverse the map to all new naval tactics, Armada is Combined Arms Domination realized, bringing high stakes, high-speed combat to the high seas. On Crossroads, you'll trade your wetsuit for a snowsuit, fighting for control of Soviet bunkers across the frozen tundra.
Those tanks look pretty strong.
With high-powered tanks patrolling the frozen lake and surrounding roads, you'll need to choose how to take on those slow movers. So whether you're hopping onto a snowmobile for a quick flank or rolling up your sleeves and sticking on some C4, the story is yours to write in Combined Arms Domination. That's it for Deniable Operations for now. We've ziplined, crossed frozen lakes, and dipped into Miami's beaches. But it's really just the start of the full Deniable Ops experience. Add up the work on your favorite classic game modes to the arrival of new modes like VIP Escort and Combined Arms Domination, and it all stacks up to our most ambitious multiplayer yet. One you can play any way you want and in new ways you never expected. If you're a Call of Duty League fan, we have a bunch of new stuff lined up just for you. Stay tuned. This may be a multiplayer game built for everyone, but these will be your Deniable Operations. And now, I'll turn it over to Tony to talk about what we mean when we say signature combat.
Signature combat,
now, a lot has changed for us since the first Black Ops game. From our development pipelines to totally new technologies, but some things haven't changed. And after over a decade of making Black Ops games, we're more inspired than ever to keep honing in on that authentic, classic Black Ops feel, all while taking it to new heights.
So we're gonna slow things down, I would assume.
Now we know
we're going back to Black Ops 1 style.
Is more than just pointing and shooting. It's about how your operator moves and weaves through your surroundings. It's feeling the power of your weapon, how it reacts in your hands. It's the sound of bullets storming past you, the rattle and bang of firing your weapon. In Cold War, we're back to plausible, authentic, boots-on-the-ground combat. And that has allowed us to not only refine the feel of the game, but build on all the classic foundations of Black Ops. Heads-up gameplay, automated healing, and grounded movement.
Automated healing
experience in the front of our minds has also inspired a fresh wave of thinking across our Create a Class and SCORESTREAKS systems, where we're introducing features that bring unprecedented transparency to your planning and cinematic wow moments to when you're playing. Now, innovating systems while still capturing that signature Black Ops super smooth feel is a notoriously tricky thing to get just right, and we put everything we have into it for each game. This is an absolute team effort, so I brought some of my friends from the combat team to help tell you about our initiatives for this game and how they've resulted in signature combat that feels just right. Here's Max Porter to start us off.
I'm excited for this. This is good. This is the heart of the game.
We've taken lessons learned from across Black Ops and the entire Call of Duty franchise to land on a truly best-in-class weapon experience. The gun is almost always right in front of you and must look great. From a gun's seams down to its grime, the level of detail in Black Ops Cold War has never been higher. But our weapons also need to move in a realistic manner. You'll feel it in this game, whether you're clocking from long range or firing from the hip.
Looks like there's quite a bit of recoil.
When we think about a gun, we think about the way it looks, the way it's gonna move, but a big part of a gun's personality is the sound that it makes. It's like the bark of a dog. We're sort of imagining all these guns as characters. That just adds to that level of realism and that sort of immersive quality that is unique to Call of Duty.
They do look pretty good, let's be honest.
To how weapons look, animate, and sound that together defines the feel of Cold War's signature gunfighting experience. Here's Alvin with a debrief on some of the other combat systems waiting for you in Cold War.
See how they've changed up Create a Class, huh?
Let's talk about two of the most significant and impactful features of multiplayer. Create a Class and SCORESTREAKS. Our goal with Create a Class in Cold War is to empower you without making trade-offs. This year, better starts with simpler. Create a Class will be a slot-based system. No longer governed by allocations or the Pick 10 system, you'll always boast a full class of a primary, secondary, lethal, tactical, field upgrade, and a set of perks.
So it's way back to
the items placed in the world to give your team an advantage. You can earn them solely based on time, not score, and they are the only type of game content that works on a cooldown that lasts after death. Now, wild cards are back. In this system, in every class, you can pick one of 4 wild cards that let you do things like load your primary weapon with up to 8 attachments, carry up to 6 perks, double the number of lethals and tacticals you have, or carry 3 primary perks from any mix of categories. Of course,
so this is going back to the simple days.
Create a Class is the gunsmith. In Black Ops Cold War, there are more optics and attachments to unlock and configure than ever before. Every primary weapon can be customized with 54 attachments across 8 different nodes or attachment points, with at least 6 options per attach point. By default, you can equip 5 attachments, or 8 with the Gunfighter wildcard. For the first time, Gunsmith will show you what equipping an attachment does as a positive or negative percentage. You can now build backwards, speccing out the perfect gun for results you want to see.
The percentage is much nicer than random bars.
Out of the system, and helps us on our never-ending quest to make the most balanced Call of Duty game.
Dude, that's so nice. I'm so glad we're over the bars.
There's one more
Just
thing
give us
I need
the
to
real
talk
stats.
About. First up, we've updated SCORESTREAKS so that earned score is kept through death. This change gives all players a chance to engage with SCORESTREAKS, one of the most visceral and fun experiences across multiplayer's signature combat. If you do go on a streak and string together multiple kills before your own death, streak score bonuses help you earn into those higher-powered SCORESTREAK tiers. To prevent SCORESTREAK spam, each SCORESTREAK will go on a cooldown after it's used to pace out frequency.
What?
So, what SCORESTREAKs are we talking about? Well, your favorites are back, but we've also got a few surprises. SCORESTREAKs in Cold War can be used in all the classic ways: to aid in taking an objective, to save your team, to break up the pace of the game with a fun new experience. We've also tailored strategy into the system, as SCORESTREAKs can often be neutralized with a counter-SCORESTREAK. And And now I'll pass it over to Sunny to share more about our operators and how they move in Black Ops Cold War.
So nobody loses score streak progress through death, but once you earn it, there are cooldown times.
Powerful.
And you get bonuses for going on kill streaks.
You won't just step into the boots of a highly trained precision instrument.
That's
Every
weird.
movement will have a purpose. To increase the fidelity and feel of even the smallest elements, modelers, animators, and concept artists all work side by side, planning for every point of contact with every gun, every stance and position, every scenario. Thanks to increased dynamic bone counts, we've been able to enhance the effects of physics and gravity on what you carry, from the weight of your gear, like pouches and grenades, to the way a wallet chain or rope sways as you sprint. Your entire operator will move more naturally than ever. Here's
Wallet
4
chain
specific
DLC?
ways movement has improved through new cutting-edge techniques in animation and programmatic movement. The first is sprint takeoff. This is the feature that gives your operator a running start. You start with a little sprint and then it slows down to normal speed. This lets you feel the momentum of like where you're going and where you're going to end up. We wanted to preserve the fluidity and fun of an operator's ability to slide. In Black Ops Cold War, when you slide, you start and end in a crouch position in a believable way. This allows 2-player movement states to function better as one, all while improving gameplay and enhancing pace.
Those slides look
Footstep
pretty
control
intense.
Also plays a big part of the new movement system. Go faster and you'll make more noise. Of course, we still have Ninja as a perk, but Ninja is no longer the only way to keep quiet. Whether or not you're crouched, how loud you get is now directly tied to how fast you're moving. Lastly, we've incorporated a classic jump with a much more natural height, which will very briefly slow you down on landing. Our goal in all of these movement mechanics is to ensure operators' actions are not just authentic, but intuitive. When you press a button or a key, you should always feel in control of your operator, and this system has been built to translate your decisions into dynamic movement more seamlessly than ever. The era of the game might be the 80s, but the characters you play will move and shoot like the world's most highly skilled operators.
It definitely looks like it's slowed down quite a bit, which is probably a good thing.
It isn't just how a gun is shot.
Something
It's how
different.
that gun feels, how it sounds, how it's designed to create a combat experience. And combat isn't just about conflict. It's also movement. So the fluid ways in which your operators shift around the AO and carry the gear you outfit them in is just as important as the choices you give them. Choices like the overhauled Creative Class system, or all those attachment possibilities in Gunsmith, or the new ways you can earn and deploy score streaks in the thick of battle. These combat initiatives work together to deliver the most intuitive, plausible, authentic, boots-on-the-ground experience possible, and they are at the heart of Black Ops Cold War. Now on that note, I'd like to introduce Miles, who's going to discuss some of the biggest innovations yet.
Thanks, Tony. All right, everyone, let's talk Warzone. You've seen how we're pouring it all into the Cold War multiplayer experience, but let's confirm it right here, right now. Black Ops Cold War will also usher in the next evolution of Call of Duty Warzone, continuing and expanding the blockbuster Battle Royale free-to-play experience. And it'll be a true evolution, with Warzone not merely picking up where the Modern Warfare climax left off narratively, but also interweaving the themes, locations, weapons, and vehicles of Black Ops Cold War right into the action.
Okay.
Cold War and Warzone will also share post-launch content from a narrative standpoint across both the Battle Pass system and item shop content. This interlinks Call of Duty in ways that evolve the Warzone experience while delivering jaw-dropping moments. So yeah, you can expect some surprises along the way.
I'm curious how it's going to be integrated, though.
The feeling of starting over. It's important to us that you can still use your characters and weapons and progression-related items, which is why investment and progress in Cold War is reflected in Warzone. While these are two very big games, from the beginning they've been built to work together. Your player experience is everything to us. So we're making sure Black Ops Cold War and Warzone share progression, with much of your previously earned Modern Warfare content, from weapons to cosmetics, still available for use in both Warzone and Modern Warfare. We're collaborating with our studio partners across Call of Duty to preserve continuity while building a new chapter of Warzone that'll immerse you into all of the best elements of Black Ops Cold War. That's multiple studios totally committed to continuing this new tradition of insanely fun, absurdly accessible Warzone action. We can't wait for you to see how Verdansk and all of Call of Duty will evolve in the year ahead. But that
I'm so
sense of
confused.
interconnectedness, it extends beyond just Warzone. That's why I'm excited to confirm that Black Ops Cold War will not only support cross-platform play and progression, but will also deliver cross-generation play to the game. That's because Black Ops Cold War is, at its heart, a connected experience. And playing together on whatever platforms you prefer only betters that experience.
Any platform, new or old, that's awesome.
Across current and next generation systems, across all modes. That won't be easy, but it's worth it to allow fans who have never had a chance to play together to squad up and deploy, no barriers between them. And with the Battle Pass system delivering a steady stream of post-launch content, Black Ops Cold War will be the very first cross-platform, cross-generation Call of Duty experience, making it the deepest game in franchise history. Vaughn, where do we go next?
Yeah, Miles.
I still don't know how it's going to tie into Warzone. That sounds insane.
We've got a very special guest, Mark from Beanox.
Hey, what's up, Van? On behalf of Beanox, we are extremely excited and proud to bring Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War to Battle.net as the lead PC developer. PC continues to be a critically important pillar of game development for the Call of Duty franchise. In addition to the major improvements we have made to Call of Duty PC in the past, including uncapped frame rates, high refresh rate support, and customized field of view, we're always looking for ways to improve features and customizable settings. One of the biggest improvements this year is that the Black Ops engine now runs on DirectX 12. This has led to a huge improvement in terms of performance and latency reduction. For players who prioritize immersive gameplay, we have a great partnership with NVIDIA to bring ray trace effects, performance accelerating deep learning super sampling, or DLSS, and ray trace latency optimization technology. We will implement ray trace shadows and ambient occlusion to improve the quality of light shadow and sunlight shadow. This improves surface and contact detail and fixes problems associated with traditional shadow mapping techniques like aliasing, freckling, and disconnected shadows.
AKA, it's going to be gorgeous.
We will be implementing AI-powered
glorious.
so players will be able to increase their frame rate while maintaining the visual quality of the game. For players looking for better responsiveness, we've integrated the Reflex low latency technology to lower system latency. This combines both GPU and game optimization. We're also happy to announce that Reflex will be coming to Call of Duty Warzone in the future. We have so much more to talk about, but right now I would like to hand it back to David Van Der. Van?
Nice. So PC is going to be majorly supported this year as well.
And one thing is clear, Black Ops Cold War is here, and it's ushering in a new chapter of deniable operations that are undeniably Call of Duty at its very best. Realistic, plausible, gritty. You've seen our team-wide commitment to storytelling, infusing the story and spirit of the Cold War narrative into everything we do, even in multiplayer. You've seen our emphasis on authenticity shine through every location, every weapon, every vehicle, every character. Each one telling a story we can't wait for you to uncover and experience. You've seen us challenge ourselves to not only innovate on classic game modes, but introduce a new generation of instant classics. Modes like VIP Escort.
I'm excited for VIP Escort. That's one of the things I like most about this.
You'll see that duo played today, and it's just the start, as we've got massive drops of free content planned post-launch, including new and limited time modes. No matter what type of multiplayer gamer you are, you'll find something for you. Tying it all together is that signature combat you love. Grounded and always realistic, you'll move fast and fluid, feel powerful when you need to be, and customized just the way you want to be. The new Creative Class and SCORESTREAKS systems give you even more of what you love, infusing more control and cinematic moments with less friction between you and the gameplay than ever before. And this is a true connected experience. Warzone and Cold War. The events in one will impact the events in the other, expanding Call of Duty in new ways you've never seen before. And Black Ops Cold War is not only a cross-platform game, but it's also a cross-generation cross-platform game. Now, that should be the end of our show.
What's the surprise at the end, zombies?
This wouldn't be a Black Ops multiplayer reveal without some Black Ops style mind games. We have talked a lot today about what Black Ops is, how it feels, what it does, But for over 10 years, Black Ops is also something else. A game that consistently presses the boundaries about what multiplayer means. Our team relentlessly looks for opportunities to offer new types of multiplayer experiences. In Black Ops Cold War, we're excited to be launching an entire new category of multiplayer gameplay called FIRETEAM. This new format of multiplayer brings together everything that we loved about making Cold War and everything you'll love about playing Cold War. Across every FIRETEAM mission and mode, you'll discover some of the most imaginative game loops we have ever designed. The FIRETEAM format allows us to emphasize teamwork and reward creativity.
Is this like Spec
Ops? And it allows
Ops?
you to do things you've never done in Black Ops multiplayer before. You'll fight in squads of 4 called FIRETEAMs. You'll deploy into larger maps, play fast, pushing through multiplayer objectives and modes that demand quick thinking. The action won't just affect you, but the environment you battle in. Enter FIRETEAM Dirty Bomb, one of the most unique game loops we've ever imagined. You and your team must search for uranium. Then, deliver that uranium to Dirty Bomb's position around the map. Deposit uranium and detonate the bomb. Now, avoid radioactive fallout as you navigate a toxic battlefield. Every decision you make impacts your survival rate and your success rate.
This is like a Warzone mixed with MP?
We can't wait to tell you even more about FIRETEAM Dirty Bomb and the other FIRETEAM modes and maps in the weeks ahead as we get closer to our public beta. I guess there's only one thing left to do. Let's play Black Ops Cold War.
Dude, there's a lot happening here. Like, wow. This is a very, very just crazy, I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but like they're doing a lot here. There's a lot happening. We have traditional multiplayer with like upgrades and new things added into it. Probably some of the craziest maps that we've ever seen. Plus, we've also got Warzone integration happening, plus we've got this new FIRETEAM mode happening, plus there's zombies, plus there's cross-platform, cross-generational, who knows what other kinds of surprises they have. There's going to be a lot of people out there with gameplay today. Like I said, unfortunately, I am not one of them, but I look forward to watching it, and even more so, I look forward to playing in that beta here in about a month. So, let me know what you guys are thinking so far. I mean, it looks pretty good. You know, it's hard for me to get super crazy excited about COD MP anymore. I'm really stoked for the campaign. I'm thinking I'm going to play some zombies this year. I mean, the FIRETEAM looks interesting, and then, of course, I'm definitely going to be into Warzone. But maybe we might have a reason to play this year. Like that, you know, a couple of new game modes and stuff actually looks pretty fun. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it all the way to the end here, I really, really appreciate it. I just posted a new video. Bam. That's the thumbnail. You guys probably want to go watch it. I'm going to link it down in the description. Appreciate you guys going to watch and showing some support. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already. Peace out.